Hello, Professor. I'm Yunyi. The question for today's discussion is suppose that you are considering the purchase of a bond issued by another country. What must you consider when calculating the expected return of your investment? By giving an example of the expected return from holding 1 year's US bonds versus 1 year UK bonds. When US investors buy UK bonds, they should first buy sterling. It represents the nominal exchange rate between the US dollar and the British pound, and each US dollar can get 80 pounds. IT ster is the nominal interest rate of the UK bond 1 year, and the next year you get 80 times 1 plus IT ster pounds. But then you have to exchange the pounds for dollars. The expected nominal exchange rate 1 year from now is EET plus 1, meaning that every pound is 1 divided by EET plus 1 USD. So, when an American investor puts $1 into a British bond today, he can expect it to get ET times 1 plus IT star times 1 divided by EET plus $1 last year. Through the above example, we know that when you consider buying bonds issued by another country and calculating the return on investment, you should not only consider the domestic and foreign interest rates, but also consider how the exchange rate between the two countries will change in the next year. Investors have to compare the rates of return on two countries' bonds, and the most important factor in investing in local or foreign bonds is the expected future nominal exchange rate. We propose a hypothesis that when investors only care about expected return and ignore risk difference, they will want to hold only the assets with the highest expected return. The extent of arbitrage implies that the following relationship must exist, which is called the uncovered interest parity relation, or the interest parity relation. To better understand the meaning of interest rate parity conditions, equation 17.2 is rewritten equation 17.3, which gives a good approximation of the interest parity condition. Equation 17.4, the arbitrage behavior of investors predicts that the domestic interest rate must equal the foreign interest rate minus the expected rate of appreciation of the domestic currency, where the expected rate of appreciation of the domestic currency is also the expected rate of depreciation of the foreign currency. Equation 17.4 shows that when considering buying another country's bonds, one should first expect the magnitude of the expected depreciation of the foreign currency over the next year in relation to the interest rate differential between the two countries. If the foreign currency depreciates more than the interest rate differential between the two countries, then investing in the foreign country's bonds will be less attractive than investing in the home country bonds, even if the foreign country's interest rate is higher than the home country's interest rate. Conversely, if the expected depreciation of the foreign currency is less than the interest rate differential between the two countries, then foreign bonds will be more attractive. Conclusion: when considering the purchase of a bond issued by another country and calculating the return on investment, transaction costs should be considered, since buying and selling foreign bonds requires 3 separate transactions, each with transaction costs. Risk factors should be considered. The exchange rate a year after the transaction is uncertain. For investors, holding foreign bonds in local currency is riskier than holding domestic bonds. We should consider the relative yield of the bond of the other country to that of the home country, which in turn depends on home and foreign interest rates and the expected rate of appreciation of the home currency, the expected rate of depreciation of the foreign currency. That's my explanation of the question. Thank you for listening.